At least the big, huge orb part with the wings of debris is circling back around to slap. Well, here we are, a month and a half away from the storm of the dragon. I can't really show you a whole lot right now that's going on in the sky, except for similar things like this with the star shade cloaking and the chemtrail cloaking, because I think the dragon right now is circling back around from when it was here back on January 17th. At least the big, huge orb part with the wings of debris is circling back around to slap the Earth on April 17th at 5:55 in the morning. I think that's Eastern time. That's my educated guess on that, but I am 100% confident that April 17th is the dragon's destruction event. I do realize that even though I'm 4 for 4 on getting dragon events right, I got September 23rd and the 24th correct. It was a dragon event, but it was, that's when the Earth and the dragons started doing a dance together, and that's when the Earth started going in and out of that dragon's debris that I've showed you. Then I thought, okay, I have to acknowledge November the 3rd because of Leviticus 12 and because of Revelation 12. It just lined up for November the 3rd to possibly be the date as well. But, of course, it wasn't, but I saw November the 3rd also in the secret society's encodings all over the place, so I knew they were telling us that date. But anyway, the date for November the 3rd now I clearly see is something to do with the Antichrist, and I believe that is when the tribulation begins. He's going to sign that Daniel peace covenant with many nations on November the 3rd. Now, I think he's going to rise on May the 14th, about a month after the dragon's destructive debris on April 17th. I think there's war, like in mid-May, for a while. There's going to be war, and those drums are already past beating at this point with what's going on with Russia and everything. And if you know your Bible well, you know that Russia eventually, along with Iran and Turkey and some of the other countries, they're going to attack Israel. They're not going to just stop with Ukraine. They're going to come after Israel. But God's going to have the last say in that. He's going to destroy like about 80% of their army whenever they come against Israel. You don't mess with Israel. So anyway, I got the destructive debris event wrong.
Of course, we all know that's not the real Israel.
A few times now in a row, but every single time I have correctly seen that it was a dragon event, or in the case of 11:3, that's the Antichrist. And I even said, before the event ever happened, I said I know that's the Antichrist. I know they're saying the Antichrist is 11:3 and associated with that in the movies and everything, in the songs and everything. I knew that, but I was just thinking, looking at Leviticus 12 and Revelation 12, that I thought they went together and maybe it was the same day that the destruction happened and then he rose. The Antichrist rose up on the same day, but no, it ain't going to happen like that. There's going to be a little bit of time in between when the tribulation begins and when the rapture happens, is what it looks like now. And then, I got the 12.
The rapture is that the world sucks you up day and night, and that's not a good thing. That's a very bad thing. The Christians just don't know. And also, the way they portray it is a false way to tell it. It's a lie the way they tell it.
23 into 12:24 of last year, when the face of the dragon got right in the Earth's face. We got face to face with it. We got that right, except for it wasn't the destruction. And the movies were kind of throwing me off because, they would say death and stuff like that along with these dates. And so I was just interpreting that as, okay, that's the destruction. But obviously, I've got the destruction wrong every time, like about 4 or 5 different times now. I've gotten the destruction event wrong. I'm 100% all in. I believe 100% I got this one right. And it's April 17th of this year at 5:55 in the morning. Now my guess is Eastern time, but I 100% clearly see them saying a dragon event on 4/17/22 at 5:55 a.m. They're 100% saying that. And now this one is like 5 times more prevalent in the encodings than even like the other ones are. It's everywhere. It's incredible how it's everywhere. Every single movie, throughout every single movie, is encoding April 17th, 2022 at 5:55 a.m. Stop a second, whatever you're doing, and listen to me. Every single movie that the secret society signs, which is most of them, every single one of them, throughout the whole movie, tells us these dragon events that have already happened, and I've shown them to you, and they are still, yet to be fulfilled. A few of them, like the big major destruction one, is April 17th, but then there's, some Antichrist things to be fulfilled too. They're telling us those too. And I haven't even studied those as deeply as I have the dragon events, because I've been called to show the dragon. Every one of these events, and then January 17th, I got it right that there was a dragon event because I saw it in the encodings, but it wasn't a destruction. February 14th, finally I learned my lesson, and I said, okay, not all of these are the destruction event. And I saw that they were saying it was going to be a back or a spine where we would be able to see that on February 14th of this year somewhere in the world. And we did over in Orange County, California. They captured it over there, and I couldn't see it here in my field of view, but it was there. And I showed you that. But I did not say February 14th would be the destruction event, because I finally, after January 17th, I finally saw very clearly that they were saying some of these dates are specific to certain things happening with the dragon. And some of these dates have to do with the Antichrist, but only one of them has to do with the destruction. And it's April 17th. 100% sure. But anyway, I can't show you the dragon right now very clearly like I have been able to in the past, but I can still show you the same things that I've been showing you, like here over the past week or two. Like, they still have star shade up there whenever they smear the chemical trails, because whenever you see this, they're hiding the dragon. That means that it would have been visible. Wherever you are in your field of view, it would have been visible if they didn't put this up. And I still see things like this. If you look real closely, you can see the edge of the dark box cloaking, what I like to call it, for lack of a better word. They're hiding something right there. And you can see very clearly the edge of their cloaking in the sky right there. And then you can very clearly see right through here that there's like a half of an orb showing up right there. And so that was never there before, like before a few years ago. That was never there on my camera images. And all this stuff, the red coming out, and like these little crater looking projections, like all of that is projections behind their cloaking. They've got all kinds of cloaking lenses and light bending technology going on in the sky on a clear day. And this is proof of it. The sky should not look like that in a camera picture with all this crazy detail stuff going on. It shouldn't look like that. And it didn't used to look like that whenever I would take pictures of the sky before I started really understanding what was going on up there. And I can still show you on my infrared camera of where, like, I don't know if that is mostly the dragon that we're seeing there in infrared, or I don't know if it's just a combination of their cloaking of the dragon. But many days on a clear day, I can show you this right here. And I mean, you can see something's going on right here, and then all this movement and color and everything, and the color changes and everything. And then I know it's right here because they're trying to hide it, because that dot, and that dot is 3 parts of their dark box cloaking. And I think that's the other dot right there. I can't really see it. I'm having a hard time finding it. And then there's 2 white circles over here. These are projections. It's not actually what we're looking at in the sky, but it's a projection of something that is in the sky. And I think it's a projection of 2 moons that are real close to the dragon. But anyway, I can still show you, this is going on. And when clouds go in front of that, the cloud is still white, and all that darkness is behind it. So I know that's in the sky, that it's doing that. It's not just something, with a camera effect or something like that. I mean, it's having an effect on the camera because there's stuff up there that's making the camera look, that way. If it was just nothing up there, all that stuff right there wouldn't be on there. Here's a day that I did see the dragon, because, this right here is just 2 days after the 14th. And then I was still looking up, and I saw right here's the dragon. They were hiding it, of course. Look right through there. You can see the outline edge of the dragon going right through there. And it goes on across the sky. You can see it going through here. I don't know what part of the dragon I'm looking at here, but that's them hiding the dragon. You're not going to get a clear look at it. They're going to hide it. Right there it is. The birds, like here, this is right above my house. I've never seen this many birds, hundreds of birds, that low to the ground. That was only like about 100 feet up in the air. And usually whenever I see birds, there's not that many, and they're usually like way up high in the air. And there wasn't like anything dead around or anything like that. But they were just flying around, and it seemed like something was wrong with them. Like, something on this day was pushing them. How they have their sensors, or with the Earth's the magnetic field of the Earth messes with their sensors of how they navigate and how they fly and everything. So I think something was pushing them down right here. As far as the dragon debris, okay, if you look real closely, you'll occasionally see a spit of dragon debris, and they're not bugs, because I don't have the bugs recorded, but I can show you you can see the wings on bugs when I pause it. And that's dragon debris going by, and it's barely going by. And there's a reason for that we're not seeing it now as much as we did like last year. And the reason is because I figured this out by watching movies, because they are telling us in the movies. The dragon on September 24th got in front of the Earth, where the Earth was following it. It was like behind it. That's why we were going through its debris. And I could show you like every day that it wasn't cloudy, too heavy of clouds or raining or something. I could show you the dragon debris every night, because we were behind the dragon and we were going through its debris. Well, it was somewhere around late December when we got face to face with it. Then we got in front of the dragon. And then now, since then, like January, I've only seen dragon debris once or twice. February, I've only seen it once, and then right here, what I just showed you, that's just barely spitting here, and it's hard to even see it, but you can barely see, some spits of it here and there. That's all it's doing because we're in front of it now. We're no longer following the dragon, we're in front of it. And it's amazing in the movies, they talk about how January 17th was a bridge. They'll usually show, a foot or a hand, or they will show a bridge. Because if you go from September 24th of 2021 to December 24th of 2021, that's 3 months exactly. Then if you go from December 24th of 2021 to January 17th of 2022, that's 3 weeks and 3 days. Then if you go from January 17th of 2022 to April 17th of 2022, that is 3 months exactly. So that's the pattern of it getting real close to us that it's on. For those first 3 months, we were behind the dragon, going through its debris. Then we were kind of barely behind it, beside it, getting in front of it. And now it's rare that we're going through it. Like this camera here is Clifton Fourth Beach in Cape Town, Africa. And what I just showed you, where it was spitting over here at my house, the dragon debris was coming down on that webcam as well. So it is still occasionally coming down. It's just we're more out in front of it now than we are behind it because of whatever 3 month pattern that it's doing with that bridge in the middle. iPet Goat is just amazing of how, this is a calendar back here on the wall, and it's like, Christmas, sweating, like you came face to face with a dragon. That was a close, dangerous miss of, where the dragon could have hit us right there, but it didn't. That's what that symbolizes. It goes into January, exit. I don't know if that's where, some of the secret society people are exiting. I don't know what they're doing because I'm not in their society. So that means that probably has something to do with that. And of course, the checkerboards is dualistic programming. So that means there's a story going on here within whatever they're showing. But it's interesting. Look, 1/22 in the timestamp, January 2022. So they're telling you right here, when the lights go down, that's where this is. And then January, February, March, April. There, the Easter Bunny. They highlight it. Can it get any more clearer than that? And I've seen in all these movies, they will say bunny, show a bunny, say Easter, do something with a rabbit in almost every movie. And they'll do it right on the numbers too. And what we're going through right now with war coverage, look, March 3/1, March 1st, okay, here we go. Go turn on the news and see what they're talking about. Right on schedule. Markets haven't, totally plunged yet. I don't even keep up with them. I heard they fell a bunch here recently. I'm not even keeping up with that. But the war coverage, they're going to keep that going. It's going to escalate. And isn't it interesting that they got Russia encoded? They know that they already got all this scripted, and it's still like March 3/31. Russia, like they're going under or something. I don't know what their plans are. They think they're going to outsmart God, I think, but they're not. This is fascinating. I was like, well, what in the time signature do they put for April 17th, 4/17, right? Exactly. Well, they had just showed fire, and now this is where those huge rocks start falling. They start falling right there. I've been watching a whole lot of movies here lately, and it's just incredible. I mean, every movie, whether it's a bad movie that I would never even watch it, if I wasn't watching it for the secret movie within the movie, or whether it's a really well done movie like some of the Disney movies that can stand alone and be a great movie without that secret movie in it. It's just amazing to see what they're doing with the numbers and even with the blocking. I mean, I'm figuring out, the more I watch, the more I figure out. I wish I would have known this years ago to, build on this a little better and quicker than what I did. But this is from the movie Fast Color. And I remember first time I watched it, I only watched this movie twice, but the first time I watched it, whenever this scene came up, I wasn't even looking at the timestamp thing. I was just looking at the scene. And for like a minute or so, all they do is the three of them come in here and they walk around. They don't say anything. They don't seemingly do anything. They're just walking around the kitchen. I'm like, what a unnecessary part of the movie. They should have cut that, But watching it again, knowing that they're encoding the dragon in timestamps, and in what they show in the movie, linked to the timestamps throughout every single movie. Then I watched it again and I was like, okay, what are they doing here? Why is this in the public version of the movie, why is it so boring here? And I figured it out what they're doing, and it's amazing. They're doing the blocking of the dragon in the earth, and the dragon in two parts. Here, I'll play it. Oh, and it was amazing because she walks in right there, 9:23 into 9:24 is encoded in those numbers. And this is a puzzle. It's not going to be perfectly in order. It can't be perfectly in order all the time. But she walks in right at September 23rd into the 24th. She walks in. And just from looking at this just for a few minutes, I think she is the big orb part of the dragon. Then the next person walks in. I think that right there is a representation of the earth. And when she walks in, it's still, 9:23 into 9:24. It's still that. Okay, so that's, the numbers are stuck on that, on 9:23:21, September 23rd into September 24th of 2021. Okay, so now we've got the orb part of the dragon, and we got the earth coming in, and the blocking. Then, the dragon body part, because the dragon's in two parts. But while that other part's about to come in, she turns face to face with the earth. So remember, this is a representation of the orb part. And let me say that whenever they open a door, see, she just opened a door right there. When they open a cabinet or a window or a door, whenever they open or walk through a door, I have learned in watching these movies, every single time they walk through a door or open a door or something, they're putting it on numbers for a reason. Every single time. And here they are representing, like I showed you a minute ago, it was September. The event in September. Now they're to the December. 1-2 December 23rd of 2021. Alright, so she faces and goes towards her. See how they get face to face there? Then this character comes in, which I think represents the body of the dragon. And watch that she opens a door. And it's interesting right there when she opens that door, that's on 4/17. Maybe whatever she's doing right here is symbolic. Because she's opening something here, she's opening something there, and it's on 4/17. Watch this blocking. Okay, she comes over there, right on the second. Check that out. 1:17. Arm, hand in the Earth's atmosphere. Perfect timing. And then she comes over there right on 1:17. Arm, hand in the Earth's bubble, so to speak. And then goes back. And then she goes back to open it again. And guess what she does? She turns her back to the camera. Her back is to the Earth and to us. 2-1-4. February 14th. Back spine. Opens the door. And then it goes into this scene right here. I'd like to do this whole movie and just show you how incredible the predictive programming and coding is in this movie, but here's just an example of it. And the Hunger Games did this as well. They're like, we're telling you over and over. She says, we're all just doing the same thing over and over again, hoping somebody's going to get this right of what we're doing with the numbers. Okay, so she said, we're all just doing the same thing. And you can make out September 24th, 21 out of that. Over and over again, make out January 17th out of that one, hoping that someone will get it right. Well, there's your 11-3. That's Antichrist. That's where their hope and their trust is. Every single movie takes time to try to build trust in the Antichrist on these numbers, 11-3. When you can make 11-3 out of the numbers down here, they'll talk about trust and about, trying new things. And they're trying to condition people for the moment. Hoping someone, that's Antichrist, will get it right. Okay, he's going to lead us in the right direction. He's coming in peace, like he's the savior of the world or something. But it's an Antichrist, not the Christ, on November 3rd. I found this very interesting, closer to the end of the movie.
Don't fall for the hijack with the Christ stuff. And even Mr. C is all the devil.
Movie where they're talking about when it's there, the case of the woman. Well, that is Virgo on, check this out, 9/23 into 9/24/17, right there, 17. There's the Revelation 12, 1 and 2 sign right there, the woman. When it's there, the woman. September 23rd into the 24th of 2017. He's like, I've been doing this for a long time, just like the other lady was talking about. I've been doing this for a long time, for so long. And there you've got 4/17/22 encoded. They've been telling us for so long in every single movie, all throughout every movie. They've been doing this for so long. They put that encoding in there. I can't even remember when it started, but that's the public version of the movie. But when it started, well, it started on September 24th, 21. I've shown you that a bunch. But that's when that debris started. That's when we joined the Dragon. This is pretty awesome. This was a perfect encoding of April 17th, 22. She started speaking the word "how did" before these words popped up in the closed captioning. She was already saying "how did" when it was 4/17/22, and then it took her another second to say the rest of it, which was still 4/17/21. But look at that. Did you know this was the time? How did you know it was this time? And there's only 2 places in the movies that they can possibly put 4/17/22 in a row. One of them is here, where I'm showing you where it's the last second of the first timestamp going into 17 minutes and 22 seconds over here. That's one place they can put it. The only other place they can put it is like here. This is movie Free Guy. That movie was incredible to watch. They're all incredible to me, but this one was especially incredible, and I might even do that one and talk through it if I can do it without getting a copyright strike. Here's the other place that they can put 4/17. If you put it on the minute, the seconds, like 4 minutes and 17 seconds, and then either 22 minutes over here, or if it's a long movie, like 2 hours and 20 something minutes, then it's in order. That's the only 2 places that they can perfectly in order put 4/17/22. Now they can also put like a 0 in there. Like if it's 40/17/22, they can do that as well, but that's not perfect in order because you got a 0 in there, but zeros mean nothing to the secret society in their predictive programming. So there's only 2 places that it can be put. Now here's the amazing thing. They have to intentionally put it there with how long the movie is. For example, if this movie was 1 minute longer or 1 minute shorter than what it is, this wouldn't work. It'd be 4/17/21 or 4/17/20, and it wouldn't work. They have to make it the exact amount of minutes to line up like that. And yet, many of them do, and then they will say things, and they're like, that right there, I don't know if you can read it, it says now. This is the date. Now. It's the date. Right here. In perfect order. People are panicking because the city's starting to be destroyed in the movie. That's just incredible.